There are certain men that God wants you to stop dating. And in this video, I'm going to break down the men that God wants you to date. And by instantly knowing who to date, you'll know who not to date. It's going to help you to create that level of discernment. And there are 4 things that I'm going to break down around who to date and what to look out for. And before I break down those 4 things, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt, and I run this channel with my beautiful wife, Kelly. And we help God-led women create their dream love lives. So let's get into the list. The very first thing that you want to look out for when selecting a partner, which by the way is one of the most important decisions that you ever make, because it's going to affect your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your financial health, your spiritual health, every other aspect of your life, especially if you want a family one day, right? Who you select as a partner is the most important thing, one of the most important things. So the list, the very first thing to look out for when selecting a partner is ensuring that a man is competent. Now, what do I mean by that? There are certain things that you want to look out for, right? So number 1, is he great at communication? Is he great at self-regulation? Is he great at displaying empathy? Is he great at co-regulation? Is he great at deep listening, right? Is he great at being able to speak his needs, his boundaries, and respect and honor your needs and boundaries? But the most important thing to look out for when choosing a partner is his competency around not how he leads, but how he follows. I'm going to share this again. This is so important. When you're choosing a man, most women that we work with is like, I want a leader. And I'm going to invite that you want, most importantly, a great follower. What do I mean by that? Well, if he is a great leader, you will see that great leaders are often great followers. Now, the person that you want to look for is he is a great follower to God. Is he competent at being a follower towards God? I'll share a quick story. So the other day, my wife and I, we had a little bit of conflict. And have you ever had the time where you knew to apologize, right? You ever been in time where it's like your mind or God is saying to you to apologize, but your ego is just like, don't apologize, be right. That's what was happening for me the other day. And we slept on it. And then the next morning when we woke up, we went out to go and get breakfast. And in Bali here, we ride scooters. So I was riding my scooter and I was just praying to God. Because I teach all of this stuff. I know how to deeply listen. I know how to self-regulate my emotions. And all of the deep breathing, all of the meditation, all of this stuff wasn't working. So I turned towards prayer. And I said, God, right now, I need some heart reconstruction. I need some heart surgery on me right now. Can you please reconstruct my heart to be in alignment with what it is that you want me to do? I give it up to you. In Proverbs 3:5-6, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all of your ways, submit to him and he will make your path straight. So in that moment, I said, I am not going to lead this because if I'm coming from my own will, I want to win. But when I give it up to God and I be a great follower and I let God lead me, in that moment, because of my competency around being a great follower in that moment, I instantly got the instruction. My heart instantly softens. I felt my shoulders relax. And when we got to the restaurant, I sat down with Kelly and I apologized. And I took accountability. And I owned everything that was happening the day before. And we instantly got reconnected. So what you want to look out for is competency in many areas, but most importantly is his competency with being a great follower. That's number 1. Number 2, you want to ensure that a man is caring. Because when you are in a relationship and you're dating, you're going to be sharing things that maybe other people don't know. And you want to have discernment around the man that you share things with, because it's like you're giving him your heart. And this heart has been bruised, has been wounded, has had heartbreak. So to give this up and over to him, you don't ensure that he has your best interests at heart, that he's not going to take it and abuse it, that he's going to care for this. So not only do you want to be discerning around having a man who is caring for you, but he's also caring to others. He's others focused, right? He's a servant. He's a servant for you, and he's also a servant for others because he is a servant for God, right? If he is a servant for you and he's a servant for others, that means he is being a servant for God. So you can trust in his ability to care because he's a great follower, and by being a great follower, he's also a servant, which I believe is being a leader. A leader is a servant. In the Bible, it says, just Matthew chapter 20, verse 28, it says, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. And in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, it says, husband, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. So for the men, it's being willing, literally being willing to die, to give your life up for her, to sacrifice yourself for her. Now, it's probably going to be hard to find out on the very first date, right? But that's why it's important to date with intention, to date with discernment, and also to take your time so you can really get to know someone's character, to have that level of discernment. So we have number one, ensuring that the man is competent. We have number two, ensuring that the man is caring. And then number three, we want to ensure that the man is consistent, and I'm going to break down number four as well, ensuring that the man is reliable. The man that God wants you to be with is a man who is consistent with his connection to God. Like, is he just a man who goes to church Sundays and then the other 6 days of the week he's disconnected from God? You want a man who is consistent with you, consistent with God, and he's reliable as it relates to his words. Does he follow through? Because if he's not reliable with the small things, how can you ever expect for him to be reliable with the big things? Now, there might be some areas where he might have a challenge, like being his word in certain aspects, in certain contexts of life. But that doesn't always mean that he's not going to be reliable in other aspects, right? So the main thing you want to look at is, can you trust him with the small things? Does he follow through? Is he consistent? So the main thing you want to look for when choosing a man who is reliable is related back to the very first thing that I mentioned. So you want to ensure that a reliable man is a man who is obedient to God, right? So in John chapter 14, verse 15, it says, if you love me, keep my commands. If you love me, keep my commands. So discernment comes from having awareness around guidelines, right? Standards. So you want to look for, is this man keeping the standards? Is he keeping the commands and standards of God? Not 100% of the time, because we are all going to fall short at the standard of living as Jesus did. It's a very high standard to live up to, right? But is he at least aiming for that? Is he at least walking in that direction consistently and reliably? This is what to look out for, right? Competency, caring, consistency, and reliability. The man that God wants you to stop dating is anyone who is outside of those four things. So a man who is incompetent, a man who is unreliable, a man who is inconsistent, and a man who is uncaring. So if you are dating right now, you want to use this as an inner GPS system to decide if this man is going to be your future husband. If you are not dating right now, this is also going to be your inner GPS system to select a man who is going to be your future husband, that you can do life with, that you can build a family with, that is going to be your future husband. If you loved this video, you're also going to like this video. Go ahead and watch it, and also leave a comment down below and let me know your biggest takeaway. I would love to hear it. See you in the next video.